As you can see, I've been doing this a long time. I say to people, when I started, I had blonde hair and a lot of it. And as you can see, that's changed a bit. When Jim called me a couple weeks ago to talk about lot development activity and land sales activity, it was nice to be asked to talk about mainly lot sale activity or lot development activity. Rather than trying to talk about the entire region, I'm going to talk about what I think are the two most active areas right now in Tucson, that being the southeast and the most active being the northwest. Lot development activity, if I was making this presentation 2 years ago, I wouldn't have anything to say. There basically was none. We came out of the housing crash with about 3,000 plus fully developed lots that were available to builders. So there was no need, 2.5 years ago to develop any more. About a year ago, a lot of that was, we got through that, or we're getting through that inventory. So about a year ago, it was time to really start developing lots. So really it was some projects that were platted, maybe partially finished lots that were worked on. And now today we're actually seeing projects that are being built from the ground up, which is, that hasn't happened. Kind of a barometer might be our company activity in the development management side. 2 years ago we had maybe 2 or 3 projects that we were actively involved in. Today we're about 18, which that's great. The big difference being before the downturn, most projects that you'd get involved in would be 100 lots, 150 lots, 200 lots, big projects. Today, you're doing, it sounds like a big number, but you're doing, maybe a 50 lot subdivision would be large. 25 might be the norm. Plat them, get them ready, but you don't build that many, mainly because of what Ginger said on the demand side. It's not quite there yet. So really starting with the southeast, the development activity primarily in the southeast is along that Houghton Road corridor. And when I say the Houghton corridor, I say basically from the Pantano Wash south all the way to the end, all the way down to Corona de Tucson. But really most of the lot development activity, Pulte is actively developing lots again in Sierra Morado. In addition to about 70 lots they're currently doing, they're platting another 175, which will come online as soon as they're through the 70 they're doing. Diamond Ventures has their Vail Reserve project that's 155 acres, planned to be 550 home sites, developing that right now. There's activity in Rancho Del Lago. Again, Pulte Del Webb is finishing up the properties that they bought some years back, the age restricted from Cahovanian. As far as sales, the big thing that's happened in the southeast, the real big news was in the end of September was the sale of La Estancia. For those of you who don't know, La Estancia is about a 500-acre parcel that's between Wilmot and Kolb and north of Interstate 10. And it was, it's got an interesting history, but to kind of cut to the chase, it was bought by Sunbelt Holdings for $17 million. Probably back when that project was started by a group out of Las Vegas and doing the development work, probably $12 million was spent on infrastructure. Big thing that had to be done was the realignment of the Julian Wash, and then there was lot grading and actually lot infrastructure started, nothing completed, and then it sat. Bank finally foreclosed. The bank sold it about 2 years ago, and then Sunbelt bought it in end of August, 1st of September. When it's all built out, that'll be 1,500 to 2,000 housing units, 51 acres of commercial, and about 25 acres of light industrial. So there's, I've heard other presentations, other people in the business talk, which I can almost consider like a self-fulfilling prophecy that if we don't hurry up, we're going to run out of land. We're going to run out of lots. I don't subscribe to that. I think we've got, based on the permit numbers we have today, there are plenty of lots that can be developed in a fairly short order. But moving southeast further, in kind of an area that flies under the radar, is the Corona de Tucson area. That's an area that today probably 1,500 houses exist. There's, when the market was very strong, all of the public builders were down there, the private builders were down there. It's an area that's, the good news about the area, if you haven't been out there in a long time, you ought to go. I mean, it's very, very pleasant. You're probably 800 feet above the valley floor. You've got great views back into the city. Problem is there's not a lot of amenity infrastructure out there. If you're going to shop, you're going to go to Sahuarita, or you're going to go up Houghton Road to Rita Ranch. There are discussions underway right now, and maybe the retail guys can talk about this. There are some discussions with Supermarket to be out there. Right now there's just the Roadrunner Market's about the only place you can buy your bread and milk. But the good news is that the infrastructure from a development standpoint is there. There are sewage treatment facilities that have capacity. There's water that's assured for another 3,500 units. So that's an area that's kind of flown under the radar screen. There's been some recent purchases. Most of the finished lot prices are going to be in the mid $30,000 range, be it someone buying a piece of dirt and developing it, or someone that's has a finished lot that they're going to sell. There have been some interesting purchases recently out in that area. Dean Wingert's here. Crown West Land Group just bought a piece that they're platting. Bear with me a second. Or Dean, tell me how many lots you're going to have. About 350. It's public knowledge they paid $6,000 a platted lot, a tentatively platted lot. So with that number, if the demand is there and their development costs, they're going to be in their finished lots for really close to that $30,000 number, maybe even a little bit under. Shifting to the really kind of hot area, that's what I call the old pygmy owl habitat in the Tangerine Corridor. It's been written up in the paper a lot. Over the last year, there have been over 15 fairly major sales to home builders. The developed lots, again, a Crown West project called Tangerine Crossing. They had some lots to develop. I think those are all developed and committed for now. But you're seeing builders, probably the most active builder up there is Meritage. They've got 4 projects that are either just finishing lot development or under development. They've got 49 lots that they bought in Tangerine Crossing. They've got 53 lots they're doing in Sky Ranch, 61 lots in Los Saguaros up by Dove Mountain, another 50 lots at Tangerine and La Cholla. Kind of the difference between the Northwest and the Southeast is price. Where in the Southeast you're seeing finished lot prices in that close to $40,000 range. In the Northwest you're looking at prices that are almost pre-downturn, approaching $50,000 a lot, and in some cases more than that. So all in all, there's activity. It's nice to be able to talk about activity. I am concerned about the job growth and the population growth of the area, and I'd love to see us get back to that 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 permits a year. Unfortunately, I don't see it coming in the near future.